Below all of the customer side, that front stage, we have this awesome box here called revenue streams. Revenue is really just looking at what are all the different streams of income coming into our business. When we look at revenue streams, we ask this question, really simple. How do we make money? For our walking tour business, the answer is simply by selling tours and delivering tours on the beach, on the pass, wherever we can walk. For this business idea, this case study of a walking tour business in Tofino, the revenue stream is selling a seat or a ticket to the tour. So you've probably got a schedule of tours lined up where you're going 2 or 3 times a day from different locations, and each seat will have a ticket price. Let's keep it simple for this case study and say that each ticket price is $90. So if we wanted to look at the total revenue potential of our business, we could look at, if you're a solo entrepreneur, how many hours a week do you have to offer tours? After you've done all of the other stuff behind the scenes for your business, how much time do you have left over to actually do the revenue generating activity of walking people on the beaches and the pass to offer the experience? And then you could figure out, how much capacity do I have on each tour? How many people could I take on the tour and still ensure that they have a really high quality customer experience? So let's just keep it simple and say that you're going to have 10 guests on each tour paying $90 each. So each tour, the total revenue would be 90 times 10, $900. And let's say each tour lasts about 2 hours, and you can do one in the morning and one in the afternoon, 5 days a week. So that would mean that you can do 10 people times $90 per person, 2 times a day, 5 times a week. So we have 10 times 90 times 2 times 5, which gives us the total revenue that you could create in 1 week with your business if you sold out your tour every time. And if we take that number of 2 tours a day times 10 people per tour times $90 per tour times 5 days a week, we have a total of $9,000 a week of potential revenue earning that we could create with this business. Of course, we're in Tofino and it's seasonal. We get lots and lots and lots of tourists all summer long, and we get substantially less tourists in the middle of winter. And in the spring and the fall, it's about half. So one of the things that we can do is we can map out our revenue stream over the arc of the year, over all 4 seasons, and see, is it realistic for us to sell 10 seats 2 times a day, 5 days a week, all year long? Or is that just a summertime number? The answer might be surprising for you. You might find actually that you could sell out those tours all year long, or that by offering the tour in a different way in the winter, you could sell it out. Maybe in the summer it's walking tour, and maybe in the winter you partner with someone who has a transport van and you take a more storm watching approach, hopping from place to place, quickly looking at the beach. So underneath the backstage, we have our cost structure. And our cost structure is really where we get to add up all of the different expenses that we're going to incur to perform the activities, to pay for those resources that we need, and to nurture those partnerships that we have helping us run our business or helping us provide value to the world. So using the case study of the walking tour, some of the elements in your cost structure might be, how much do you need to pay yourself as the business leader and entrepreneur every year to pay your bills and to have the amount of savings that you need to get by? You might add on to that a goal for increased savings and stuff like that too. But at a minimum bar, you need to pay your bills and you need to feel good about the work you're doing. Then you're going to look out and see, what are all the different expenses that I need to be able to run my tour company? Do I need a laptop and an internet connection? Do I need a cell phone and a cell phone plan? And maybe you need new hiking boots. Maybe you need maps and charts. Maybe you need a digital subscription to a digital mapping service so you can map out the different tours. Maybe another resource that you need is experience and knowledge from local community members that are older and have stories that they can share with you. How are you going to compensate them for sharing those with you so that you can monetize them and share them with tourists in a good way and really reciprocate with your community? Another part of your cost structure might be the physical resources that you need around an office space to host your guests and welcome them and then get going on the tour. Or maybe you rent a little space at one of the resorts or multiple different resorts where you can have a little hut, engage the customers, and then go walk out from each of the resorts. There's also going to be a cost to partnership. That cost could look like meals, going for lunch with the key partners to build that relationship. It could look like making sure that you are providing value to them in their business in other ways. And that could require gifts. It could require showing up and speaking at different events. And it could just have different expenses that we might not be so aware of off the top of our head that we want to make sure that we capture in our cost structure.